It is with great honor that I get to introduce our guest speaker today, Pastor Jeff Williams. Pastor Jeff is the founder, pastor, president, and chairman of the board for the Eagle's Nest Ministry. Eagle's Nest is a non-denominational church that focuses on individual discipleship. It also operates a residential Reentry 12-month program for ex-offenders called Soaring Eagles. Pastor Jeff began this program on March 1st, 2006 as an outreach to the brokenhearted. Pastor Jeff is a very inspirational person. As someone who has gotten the opportunity to sit down and visit with him, I learned how passionate he is about this program and serving the Lord in any way possible to help those who are lost. His life and labor reflects his constant pursuit of Jesus Christ. And his motto, which I think is so awesome, is all of me for all of him. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce you to Pastor Jeff Williams and his associate, Vincent Perez.
22 months ago, Eagle's Nest got involved in what we now call Soaring Eagles. And as Kim said, what this is a re-entry program for men coming out of prison. I don't know if you recognize the name Otis Campbell. Otis was the town drunk on the Andy Griffith show. Most people remember him and his escapades there in the jail. But a different story today exists than what we see there in that program. There are 149,000 inmates in the state of Texas. TDCJ, as it's known, has an annual budget of $3 billion. They employ 40,000 men and women in the system. Of those 149,000 inmates, there's 109 prison units across the state incarcerating these people. 80,000 of those people annually make parole. Parole means that instead of finishing your sentence, if you had a 10-year sentence and you make parole, which is a privilege, not a right, you're voted upon, then you could come out in a 5-year window possibly and finish your sentence outside. But that means that the state has granted you the opportunity to complete your sentence back in the public. You get out of prison one of two ways. You make parole, you don't live in the prison. Unlike Otis, that's not your home. So we incarcerate people because they do wrong. We understand that. It's necessary. That's what prosecutors do. But once they make parole or finish their time, they come back into our community. And what we began to do is look into that process and see what services exist for men and women coming out of prison, seeing that 80,000 of them a year come back into our community in the state of Texas. The recidivism rate, which is the number of people who return in 3 years, is about 30% in Texas. Nationally, the number is 80%. Texas is very fortunate because we're very friendly to the faith community. There are 30,000 faith-based approved volunteers to go inside the units and preach and teach. And lives are being changed in there. It's very exciting. There's revival going on inside the prison. A lot of people are coming to the Lord inside prison. But then we began to look back to the reentry piece. Once they get out, what happens? Texas only has 5 halfway houses across the state. That's servicing 80,000 people per year. Another fact is another 80,000 either reoffend or get incarcerated every year. So the number never dwindles. It never changes. So we have a crisis on our hands. So as we began to investigate in reentry, it's only, the number seemed to be about 3,000 or 4,000 people on record that are volunteering to provide services for people in reentry. That's a much smaller number than those involved inside. I would suggest in many ways, it is a little more comfortable to let the state do all the work and we just show up and preach to a captive audience. I do enjoy audiences like that. But when they come out, it becomes very messy. And there's a lot of pieces that have to go be put back together. This is a story of Humpty Duck. And so we decided to get involved there. and tried to provide a comprehensive program of 12 months for sustainable futures for men coming out of prison. That means we are involved in finding them jobs, houses, transportation, and an ongoing support system. We've had 14 men in our program in the last 22 months. None of these men have returned to prison. We're excited about that. We have a 0% recidivism. It's proven that by building relationships, working with people, and helping them find the services that they need, they're less likely to reoffend. So at least in these 14, the people that's making up now the numbers in the system are not these people. And so we're making a difference. The Assistance League has been helpful to us already, and we appreciate this. One of our men was granted a scholarship for $1,000 to continue his education. He's still in school and working currently, has a car. We're grateful for that. One of our men recently went by and had a voucher for clothing. He needed black shirts for his job. He only had one. He was washing it every day and running up electric bill and water bill at the ministry. So he goes to Assistance League, he gets additional black shirts. You've saved us $20 a day. We appreciate these services. We also have been recipients of these hygiene packs, we call them. So when men come out, they need the essentials. When they're released from Texas Department of Criminal Justice, they have a $50 check when they leave a unit. They could have done 30 years time and they get $50, doesn't matter. They get what they own in a bag, and they walk out of a unit with a bag and everything they have fits in that. And then they have a $50 check. That generally buys them a bus ticket to their destination, which is a county that's been pre-approved. If that's Montgomery County currently has 2,500 parolees in our county. In this population of 2,500, we have 21 parole officers in the local parole office. Most people believe that the state then becomes responsible once someone is incarcerated. That's not true. They're responsible for them while they're incarcerated, but once they're released, they're no longer responsible, only for monitoring purposes. Some of these men and women have monitors and ankle bracelets around their ankle. You'll see people like that walking around the community occasionally. And the parole officer's job is just to see to it that they live under a curfew and they stay out of trouble and they report regularly to these visits. We have 21 officers overseeing 2,500 parolees, and they have to visit with most of all of those per month. They have a caseload of over 100 people each, and they have to visit with them monthly. So you can see what's going on. That's the state's offering. We thought, well, we'll go into the county and the city, and we'll find where all this assistance is, and then Eagle's Nest will just bolt into that and complement what's already going on. Oh boy. I wish it were that easy. I wish we could say we're complimenting what's going on. The truth is, we've received over 600 letters now in 22 months from men incarcerated wanting to come into our program. We have a 10-bed facility, 16 acres. It's beautiful. We'd love for you to come out and visit, except if you come to visit, we may not let you leave. we need a lot of help. But we'd love for you to see this and see what we're doing. And what we're trying to do now is raise awareness. We need a lot of help. This is a lot of people, and we're trying to make a difference. I tell people I feel like Shamu is coming at me, and I've got a toothpick trying to poke his eye. It's a very difficult thing that we've undertaken here now. Here's where we need your support, community support. First of all, in jobs. The people that are ex-offenders often wind up now as unemployed and homeless. And so where you're seeing many of these people is in the homeless community. I would say 90% of the homeless people in our community are ex-offenders. Well, why do they wind up homeless? Well, it's almost impossible to get a job. When you check off in the blank, by the way, 2 out of 3 families in the state of Texas are affected by incarceration. I know as I stand here, my daughter is incarcerated. You likely have a close family member who is as well. My heart goes out to you. But we want to do something and help and make a difference. We're going to poke Shamu's eye out. But here's what we need to do. We need jobs for these men and women who are coming out. Again, if they have jobs, if they have housing, if they have transportation, very unlikely they will reoffend. They learned some lessons while they were in there. Many of them got saved while they were in there. But now they're baby Christians and they come out, and it's almost impossible to find a job. Same thing with housing. There's only one apartment complex in Conroe. I don't know how many hundred complexes there are, but there's only one complex in Conroe that will rent to an ex-offender. So it's very complicated. Maybe you know someone that owns an apartment complex. Maybe you have rental property. This is a way we're trying to raise awareness and help build a network of people that's willing to give some folks a second chance. The community currently isn't doing anything, so maybe the faith community is the one that's going to have to stand up and do something. If you give me an opportunity, I'll try to keep it to 10 minutes. And get me in front of your church, give us an opportunity to go speak, and let's try to build a coalition of people that will be involved in making a difference. With vehicles, they all need affordable transportation. If they have transportation, they can get to a job. So finding vehicles. You may have a vehicle you'd be willing to donate. We've had 10 or 12 vehicles donated to our ministry. If it needs repair, we repair it. We're able to make an affordable vehicle for an ex-offender that now becomes fluid. They can move about the community, and what a difference that makes. Every time a man finds a job, a place to live, a vehicle begins to build self-esteem in these folks. They're beat up. They know they're carrying the stigma. What we didn't realize as well is we're now carrying the stigma with them. Some people say Eagle's Nest. Well, that's a ministry for prisoners. Well, I think we're all ex-somethings. We're all in some stage of recovery. I'm I would like to say recovering Pharisee. That's who I am. So I do relate to people going through change and in recovery. But if you'll keep this in mind and assist us in any way that you can, we want to change lives. And we want to build into these men and women sustainable futures. And that can happen with cars and transportation. That can happen with jobs. That happens with housing. And then we are a support system. You don't have to be an ex-offender to be at Eagle's Nest, but Eagle's Nest is friendly toward people who are broken people and in the process of rebuilding their life. So if you knew anyone, it could be drugs and alcohol. It wouldn't have to be incarceration. It could be divorce. It could be emotional, spiritual type of brokenness. We're glad to assist people. We've been there 11 years, and we've had over 800 people come through our program. And we've never had one 911 call. That's pretty exciting. So the community of law enforcement, I meet next week with the DA's office. We have a great relationship with these people. We appreciate what they do. And they're there and they're doing their job, and our community is safer. But when they get out, there's very little attention being given to these pieces. So today I thank you for your involvement. When somebody comes back, like myself, that's one of the main reasons I'm here. Because of your involvement and you're helping us, we appreciate this. Thank you for Kim. Shirley's not here today. What a precious lady she is. I miss her. But they came out and they visited our facility. We had a chance to share this with them. And that's what led us here today. And I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for being involved with us currently and all that you do.